unleashed on their next turn. At the start of the Psyker's next turn, the rhymed ability is instantly used again the same time. The same cells for same areas. Okay, what is Verse Unleashed? Use a random known Psyker power on a random eligible target at the start of the next turn. Sure. Wait, how do I... Okay, enter. Alright, do I... Where's my action points? Oh, okay, right there, 3. Alright, so what have we got? We have a sniper rifle? Okay. Alright, so that killed that guy and broke the cover. What is this? Wicked Scorn. Oh, wait, we can shoot again. Oh no, I cannot shoot again. I'm wrong. Okay, Wicked Scorn. Target must pass a willpower metal test. If they fail, they take -2 morale. Okay. End turn. Bonk. Okay, so it's the Eldari's turn. Wayseeker selects an ally, disregarding range and line of sight. That ally gains the benefits of the Wayseeker's passive keystone ability and the Wayseeker's talents. The Wayseeker can use psychic powers on this target, disregarding range and line of sight. The Wayseeker and allies under the effects of guidance gain guided steps for 1 round. Allows the unit to move to the target cell without provoking attack of opportunity. A target within a 15 cell radius suffers 6 impact damage and is stacking -1 penalty to reflexes and tenacity until the end of combat. Then it must pass a strength modifier. If failed, it becomes staggered. Alright, so guidance on the big guy. Move there and stab this guy. Can we stab him again? It does not appear so. Okay. In turn. Okay, I could Firestorm again. So that hurts those two and hurts their cover. What is this? Degradation reduced by 4. Okay, don't need that right now. Alright, end turn. Alright, I'm a bit worried about the big guy in there. He just shot through his own ally. But I'm guessing if you didn't have anyone in here, they would kill the hostages. Okay, he has Endure. Wait, what? Okay, this is similar but not the same as Rogue Trader. Okay, so you use this and you regain armor. All adjacent enemies suffer damage to their legs? What? So it's not just like, oh, I can withstand this, but also, boom, kick him in the shin. Okay, Endure. Alright, hold on, what was his other weapon? Ogre and Mace. So if I do this, 14 to 17. If I do this, 6 to 11. Smash, do 12 damage to each thing in front of him. Alright. Is he immobilized? Like, I see a glow around his feet. Where does it show debuffs? What is the difference? Single target, hammer, mace. Legs injured. Okay. Do you guys see where like debuff? Like he's got glowing legs. Oh wait, it's like right there. Maybe I have to open his character panel? There it is. Immobilized for 1 round. Okay, so we hit C for that. Okay, and then we got Rambo here. Okay, lock and load. While activated, you gain 1% rate of fire for each shot fired, up to 50%, but maximum movement points is limited to 1 and cannot be increased. Okay, so he can hardly move. Run and gun, your burst shots and area attacks are performed twice, but do 25% less damage. They cost 1 more AP. Rapid fire, range burst attacks gain 100% rate of fire, but each shot is directed toward a random target within a cone. They cost 1 AP more. That guy looks like he's gonna burn to death. Bro, what? Dude, that went everywhere. I did not... Okay. Alright, that was incredibly terrible. It had a skull over her when I moused over her, so I thought it was like, oh, that's going to kill her. Can she run over there? She can demolish the door open. Does she still have action points? Yes, she does. Okay. Oh, that's right. She has a flamer. Okay. How do we do this? She's already used her movement. Can she heal him? No, not in range. Okay. Alright, just finish this guy off, I guess. Okay, so that's okay. So you take the burning damage at the beginning of your turn. I was wondering about that. Arms injured, torso injured. All right, this is really interesting. So this is meaning that like different body parts have hit points essentially. What are you nutriting? Cold applesauce. It's very helpful for the throat. For the issue I've been having. Alright, give her an extra turn. Alright, hold on. That's 3 to 6. Cannot use the flamethrower while there are melee armed characters nearby. Necrotoxin? -9 penalty to skill test for 1 round. She poisons her shotgun bullets? That's wonderful. Does he have multiple weapons? Okay, universal long lasts. Is there anyone we can kill this turn? That is 13 to 17. The other one is 21 to 26. Alright, injured. Oh, wait, that's the 12%. Okay, I just saw the percentage chance to hit.
I hope you are feeling better, sir.
A little bit, Chester, thank you. Wait, become broken. Morale in... Staggered. Cannot act and defend. Attacks now have a 100% hit chance. Broken. Defense decreased by 30. Incoming damage increased by 30%. Oh, wow. Dude, that really messes you up when you get your morale broken. Still worried about the ogre, though. Okay. Sail. Wait, I cannot attack this turn? Wow, a sail counts as an attack? Ah, damn. That was really low damage for what that did. Oh my god, I did not know his firestorm was going to go off again. That hit 2 of my own people. Yikes. Alright, Blaze Weaver. Every burning unit in combat has burning level increased. That includes one of my own people, though. Siphon Life. Endure again. Alright, kill that one. Can he smash on the same turn? Oh, he can. So they can only do 1 attack a turn, but smash doesn't count for the attack cap. Or he got an extra one. Alright. Okay, he can kill that, but it'll go through him and hit my own dude, so we're going to change the angle here. The animation there was a little weird. Okay, so we set her on fire by accident. Heal him. Have some drugs. Move there, flamethrower this guy. Medicae kit on self. That'll get the fire off. Okay, he burned to death. Become hero. Oh, for a second I thought it said become heretic. I was like, excuse you? Alright. Give... Oh, he's too far. Give him another turn. That would hit the other innocent people. That's not good. Use that one. Torso injured. What does that do to you? Weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, agility, perception, int, willpower, toughness, and fellowship reduced by 10. Fellowship? Man, he's a worse friend. Alright, that's 18 to 22. If I swap weapons, 11 to 14. That's worse. Alright. Let's try to hit him in the willpower. -4. Legs injured. What does that do? Defense, agility, athletics, reflexes reduced by 30. Movement points reduced by 5. Jesus, dude, getting injured in this game is nasty. Finest hour. Give him another turn. There we go. Become broken. This one, her morale just shattered. Okay, this guy. I have not really figured out how to use this dude. The enemies are shattered. Victory is yours. Interesting. It almost feels like there's like the total war morale stuff is in this game. So there are still enemies alive, but they all just have lost morale and given up. Well, Cog had a near-death experience, but we, all the hostages lived. So, does anyone have, like, lasting injuries? Let's turn that off. Lots of stuff. Alright, diver hostage. Thank the God Emperor and Saint Sibelius, we're all alive. You're welcome. Click these links. The bandit with the aluminum tattoo stands loose-limbed and relaxed as if he were the one who had killed all the ferals. Get a load of you. You'd never known your shirt was clean. That worked a treat, so the Baron won't be chopping off any of my limbs today. You did well. You pleased our boss. When he gets upset, people start disappearing, you know? Anyway, here you go. I owe you one. You received an item called the Unbreakable. It's a piece of armor. What is the sludge you're so worried about? Raw material from the sea bottom. The divers bring it to shore. The Baron makes gurgasum out of it. Valuable stuff. Glad I could help. I should be going now. Okay, that is pretty cool. So that was our first time seeing the combat system in this game. I like the injury thing. That's pretty neat. And really the only character here I don't immediately understand how to do anything productive with is is Larthier. Don't really get how to use him in combat. Stinking black liquid sloshes around inside the barrels. Strange. It's unlikely that waste would be stored with such care. Scan footprints. Trail lost. Additional visual scanning of the vicinity is needed. The mechanism is thrumming with effort, but is doggedly pumping air somewhere deep below. Extract the fuse. Wait, what? Pumping air somewhere? There's a diver down there. If I extract the fuse, it's just going to kill him. That sounds stupid. I'm not handing it over. I found it first. I asked nicely, you piece of grok. Shit, now I'm not going to be nice anymore. Oh god. Yeah, that wasn't nice at all. Where'd you come from? Ah, I was never here. Brown marshes. Alright, so there's a zone line there. The corpse of an old man showing signs of mutation. His fingers have fused into fins, and a frilly crest protrudes along the nape of his neck. The building is assembled from scraps that even the beggars refuse to take. The people who live here are the most... Hold on a sec. Are the most wretched inhabitants of Maris Portum. There is no one lower than them. 2 hermits are leaning over a corpse stripped of clothing and with a gunshot wound in its chest, clearly trying to think of the easiest way to drag it to the sea. Another hermit, an old woman with a malformed appearance, stands nearby, muttering something in a vehement voice. The Ogren growls and, despite having received no order to do so, takes a heavy step toward the hermits. You there, what are you doing? I'm guessing that's his sergeant. The old woman gasps in fright and hides her face in her hands. Don't kill us, good master. Rotten Fish was only giving a litany to usher along this warrior of the god Ember to rejoin him. Examine the body. The young man's ashen face is frozen in a grimace of disgust. You notice the muck on his body is is relatively new, and his neatly cut hair suggests the deceased could afford to tend to his appearance. Sarrow makes the sign of the Aquila and lowers his head, whispering a prayer, probably a requiem. Examine the gunshot wound. Plus chit, sure. Yeah. Okay. The edges of the wound are slightly charred. The man was shot with a las pistol. I would like to note the presence of blood in the cadaver's mouth and nostrils. The primary wound, clearly inflicted by a low-powered las weapon, did not result in immediate death. It was the victim's subsequent wounds that caused their internal bleeding and eventual demise. The shot to the head didn't kill him? Look for identifying features. The man's forearm has tattoos, some of which signify his affiliation with the Astra Militarum. Step away from the body. You take a step back, but the slightly sweet smell of decay follows you. Cog, do you recognize this man? Cog slowly walks up to the body and looks at it for a long time. Suddenly, he lets out a soul-wrenching howl and turns to you with an expression of utter turmoil. It's Sergeant Owley. He's all dead. The abhuman growls and pounds his fist on his own forehead several times. Add to protect him, Sergeant Owley was bad at fighting. At the Ogren's words, Larthier turns his head to him and slowly raises a hand as though about to place it on his tall shoulder, but stops at the last moment, as if waking from a reverie, and turns away. You're on your own. Your sergeant is dead. What will you do now? Silence falls. Cog shifts his gaze from the body to you, and you could tell by his expression that he does not have an answer to your question. After a long pause, the Ogren says without confidence, I shouldn't get a say. Haymar leans forward so to not be overheard. Listen, Acolyte, ideally, we're supposed to return the Ogren to the Fusiliers, but that'd be a pain and more bureaucracy than we'd like. If anyone asks, you can just flash that sigil and tell them he's the property of the Inquisition, commandeered for official duty. The Catachan gives you a conspiratorial wink and straightens. In the name of the Holy Inquisition, I am compelling you into my service as a valuable tool from the ranks of the Astra Militarum. From now on, you will obey my commands. The Ogren looks at you, several moments pass, and then Cog raises his hands and makes the sign of the Aquila over his chest as is customary in the Astra Militarum. Commander. Okay. Ogren permanently acquired, I guess. Athletics. A rope is needed. Inspect. The footprints end at the shore. There's something slimy in the murky water. Yielding to your efforts, swollen, dehumanized corpses slide up into view. The heavy reek of death strikes your nose and soaks into the fabric of your clothes. The condition of the bodies indicates prolonged immersion in water. There are traces of local fauna, evident in multiple bite wounds and loss of soft tissue. Fingers are absent, abdominal organs are absent. Note that the bodies have decomposed far less than would be expected under these conditions. Makes a note to take samples of the local water. It displays pronounced embalming and preservative properties. Inspect the remnants of clothing. The corpses, badly eaten away by fish, are wearing sturdy uniforms and boots that match exactly those issued to workers at the excavation. Look under the clothing. The fabric clings to the slick corpses and tears away with a sickening sucking sound. Their pale, water-swollen skin has puckered so much identifying anyone is impossible. Note the water's unusual impact upon the epidermis. Maceration, that is, wrinkling and peeling of the skin, typically affects only a drowning victim's hands and feet. In this case, though, the entire body is oedematous, and almost liquefied by toxins in the seawater. This regrettably greatly hinders identification. It suggests someone knew of these properties and deliberately deposited the bodies here. Address the preacher. Do you know anything about these bodies? It grieves me with a sorrow as wide as the river to speak plainly. I know not the fate of these poor fallen, only that they long ago sank into the stinking abyss. When my steps brought here an unworthy servant of his, I found the bodies, foul and unwept, hurled into the waters without benediction. From that hour I assumed the mission of seeing these miserable ones laid to rest. Look around. The drowning site is secluded, yet it remains fairly visible from the nearest islets. Their inhabitants may well have seen something. Step back from the bodies. Okay. Judging by the rust and dirt covering the bottom of the boats, they are frequently used. The black coating on the inside seems to have been left by the catch. Okay. Wait, was I supposed to talk to Rotten Fish more? The old woman's body is marked with patches of scales breaking through her skin. One of her eyes resembles that of a fish stranded on the shore, bulging and milky white. The webbing between her fingers glints with luster. To make matters worse, the stench of rot from her greasy garments is so potent it feels life-threatening, and yet she greets you with the most cordial smile. Show the sigil. I need some information, and I hope you'll cooperate. Rotten Fish strains her eyes... Hey? Chip is here. Strains her eyes looking at the symbol until clarity dawns on her face and she collapses to her knees. Her muttering is filled with an air of ecstasy, while a thin strand of saliva trails from the corner of her mouth. The God Emperor protects. It's an honor for old Rotten Fish to see a true servant of the Golden Throne in person. She'll help you with anything and everything. Saint Sibelius teaches us to hold together and serve the throne, and you are a herald of Holy Terra. O soldier infallible Sibelius Saint. Her head twitches with a clinking sound of a vox caster. As she finishes the line, her focus shifts back to you. There are bodies in work uniforms in the water. Do you know how they ended up there? Her old face grows somber and suddenly becomes small and pitiful. The fish saw it, good master. The sea gnaws at our neighbors' bodies. The carvers brought them, poked them in the back with weapons, forced them to jump in the water. Their clothes were foreign and fine, but they were still our kind. Why would the Baron do this to his own people? Who are you? This is Rotten Fish, good master. A hermit, a diver in the past, just an old woman now. Tell me about this place. Rotten Fish will tell. She likes to prate. That's why not everyone likes her. What can you tell me about Maris Porton? She turns her gnarled head toward the towering buildings in the distance and noisily, with a gurgling rasp, inhales the foul air. A blessed place. Sibelius the Infallible was buried here, and we the unworthy live and toil in the name of the God Emperor. Life here is hard, the sea's cruel, the land's dry, but that makes it all the better. You'll feel that it's all for a reason. Back then, simple but hard-working folk lived here. Some fixed the drains, others, like the fish, went out to the sea. They made rations from fish and seaweed over there, in that building that's gone now, washed away. The sea fed us, but then the God Emperor grew wrathful, and the sea rose from its shore... And the sea rose from its shores. It swept away many things, dragged many people into the water. Our divers, they're used to it, but a lot of common folk perished. Well, no matter, we're managing for now as long as the sea is calm. Do you know anything about Confessor Ersemus? She clumsily makes the sign of the Aquila. Her fingers do not obey her well, and the webbing between them hinders from spreading them properly, but she tries her best. May the God Emperor watch over them. Of course I know, Master. Ersemus has lived here with us almost since his childhood. He came when he was still very young, spoke beautifully, told us about St. Sibelius just the way it's told in the teachings. Then the flood happened, Ersemus got hurt badly somewhere, and he started gathering the flock around him. It's a good thing, but oh, they've all grown so eager now, but folks are drawn to them. With each passing day, there are more and more of these troubled souls. Clue acquired. This is a barely concealed tone of pity in her voice, as if Ersemus and his flock are doing something wrong. She opens her mouth wide as if gasping for air, and then she practically spits out the words. Sibelius the Good became a traitor's prey. His flesh our hopes rent asunder by villain's knife. It seems to me you're not telling the whole story about Ersemus. Her lips twist in a strange semblance of a smile. Forgive old Rotten Fish, she is to blame. She holds pity in her heart, but pity doesn't suit his faithful servants. Ersemus once honored Sibelius the Infallible, but after he returned from the neighboring Hab zone, covered in wounds, his faith grew stronger, yet something's just not right about it. It's not for foolish old fish to judge sermons, but back then he used to speak of unity and faith, and now it's all about pain and suffering. Those who listen to him torment themselves too. It's frightening to even look at it. Devoted they may be, but rotten fish pities them